Anyway, so I do believe I'm positive about today's program.
Good.
Unlike most days. And you notice that if you're listening, then you don't notice it. You don't notice that we are in our studio. Our downtown Dallas studio, yet to be named location. We'll tell you soon. And if you are watching the vid, we're live streaming today too. Hey.
Hello. Hi there.
People watching us on the live stream. What camera do I look at when I do that?
The one right in front of you.
I think the one.
Oh. Does it turn like red?
No, it's
No.
it's pretty much right there, like this. Main Street.
All right, anyway. So we're in our studio, and if you're watching the vid, that's short for video, Brandon. We have this, we found this UFL logo, which stands for the United Football League, apparently. And you could see in the background Birmingham Stallions fans and gear and all that because, like, they're really good, right? Aren't they, like, the best? They
wins in a row. Or
What's that?
Championships in a row.
3 chips?
Yep.
A couple chips.
Do soccer players call championships chips?
I don't know if anybody calls chips chip.
Oh, okay. I thought someone did. Anyway, so in studio today, remember this guy? He is the best kicker in the NFL.
Wow.
Brandon Aubrey.
Look at that.
Thanks for having me.
Folks.
Happy to be back.
All right.
Wow. This never ends.
What an open. What an open.
You're one of the few guys. In fact, is he the second man ever, besides us? The second man ever to be on a broadcast high atop my garage and in our downtown Dallas studio.
Well,
you remember Dominic Robinson was the first, and it was on back-to-back shows.
we very recently had Danny on in both locations.
Oh.
So I think that you might.
I wanted to make him feel good. Like now,
you called him the best
feels
kicker of all
terrible.
time, and I feel like that's that you could have stopped there. That's pretty good.
I don't know about the best of all time. That would be Tom Dempsey, right?
I guess.
You know Tom Dempsey.
I've heard the name. I've seen him in the Hall of Fame.
You ever think about cutting off half your foot?
No.
Yeah, he's the half a
Will
foot
not do
kicker.
that. Gotcha. The steel toe guy.
Yeah.
What if that was able to extend your career by 5 years?
I guess you kind of got to do anything to extend your career, but I like my foot.
Okay.
I'll keep it.
Yeah. Anyway, man, thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be the third.
I wanted you to be second, but I would have called you first, but Dominic would be really mad. And we don't want that. Do you remember? So do you know what show Brandon was in studio or in den for? High atop my garage?
Find out.
Because today is show number 203 with Brandon Aubrey from the Cowboys here. And some time ago, we got this email. So if you didn't listen to that program, I got an email that said, Dear Dan, I'm a P1 and DumbZone subscriber. I like to support the little guy, which apparently we are.
Yeah, apparently.
That's sad. I spoke with my son-in-law, Brandon, the Cowboys kicker, and he would like to be on your show if that's something you'd be interested in. Of course, I would like to accompany him to witness your work firsthand in the den. From Brent Bloom. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay. 817.
No.
Oh, he gave his phone number, though.
No.
Yeah, so that's how this all started. They joined us up in the den. Apparently, you weren't too offended because you've agreed to join us again.
That was a great time.
We kind of wanted to show you, like, hey, this isn't all we are. We aren't just a couple of guys above a garage.
With 2 poodles.
Yeah, no, those poodles were great.
Yeah,
They are great, but, look, what do you think?
It looks
It's
fantastic.
not so bad.
Love
right?
the big head of Baker there. You got some
Yep.
great shirts hanging.
Yep. I have
Fantastic.
a picture of Cameron Brink over here.
I can't see it.
Oh, well, you can imagine.
Yeah.
I
And
have a
the,
Cowboys pennant.
awesome. And some giant scissors. What are those about?
Explaining our bits to people.
I think it can be done quickly. We've just, as we were sitting high atop my garage, we would often say, man, it'll be great if we someday have a studio.
Yeah.
And we'd say, you know what we'd like? I'd love to have a gold shovel. You ever see those pictures
Yeah, for
with the guys standing?
breaking
by the
ground
ground,
or a
wanted to do
ribbon
that.
cutting.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have 5 gold shovels. People have given us gold shovels because we once said we wanted them. And then we thought it would be cool someday to have a ribbon cutting ceremony at our new studio, but we need giant scissors.
It is super unnecessary for you to stand up to tell that story.
Oh. Well, I mean, if you have a gold shovel. See, I've been thinking about standing up a lot lately
Because of our friend with the desk?
because of, was it Mortgage Mark?
I think so.
Yeah.
So he has a couple of stand-up desks that he has offered, and I'm going to take him up on that. And then I've talked to some different people, too. Everybody who has tried the stand-up desk is like, oh, yeah? You think the stand-up desk? We have some sit-ins today as well. We have Sam Smith, Terrence Singleton, Jeremy Hager. That works, Hager?
His wife is the cookie lady.
The cookie,
Oh.
that made the Dumb Zone cookies.
Yeah.
Awesome. For the 420 event?
For the 420 event, and that we met at the Akash show.
Down in Houston, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we like your wife. Or Jake does at least. And who else? Oh, Eric Patterson. Eric Patterson as well. That's you with the stand-up desk. And everybody's like, and I'm reading about the stand-up desk, and it's like, oh, it'll add 15% to your life. Or you guys aware of the stand-up desk?
Yeah, I was a software engineer for 2 years. I know all about the stand-up desk.
And
Fantastic.
you had one.
Should try an exercise ball.
Well,
Instead
just
of a
sitting
chair.
on an exercise
instead
ball?
Of a chair. Yeah.
Does that feels like that would be exercise though during
Yeah.
the show?
It's working out your core the whole time and your back. It's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think you don't notice it,
Yeah.
right? Like it's
Because you're so engrossed in your work.
yeah,
Really?
like you're actually doing what you're doing, but I feel like it's activating your core in a way that it's not going to bother you. It's not like sitting there and doing 100 sit-ups or something like that.
So I have that book. I have this bookshelf in the den. So I've been standing in the morning
God,
Doing
I wish
show
I could
prep.
see this.
over by where the dog bowl is,
Yeah.
and just standing there, and it's real tiny, this shelf. So I'm just standing up because I'm like, oh, this is better for me. Like I'm just trying everything I can, Brandon, to push death back.
Yeah. Well, it's hard life, and your fitness is the most important part of it, I think.
Okay. Wise words from Brandon Aubrey. So you're here with Jen again. Jen has Jen's gained a little weight.
What happened?
Doing okay?
A little
Maybe
bit.
you should stand at the desk a little more or sit on that exercise ball.
Definitely should.
So you're very pregnant. I'm hoping,
Yeah.
or else I just really stepped in a terrible, terrible bear trap.
Yeah. Got less than a month now.
Yeah.
Less than a month. What's the due date?
August 12th,
Man.
day after the Rams game in
Yeah,
preseason.
preseason game.
Oh, okay. Did you intentionally time it out so you could miss a little training camp?
No, can't really plan those sort of things as much as you try, but
Have you gone back 9 months and said, okay, oh, that was right after the game-winning kick against so-and-so?
it was November. What game would that have been?
You were on a
Thanksgiving.
heater.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, all year you've been on a
Yeah.
heater.
Every night was a celebration that season.
1 year ago today, like, what's your mindset? Where are you?
1 year ago today, let's see. I'm probably at the Star working out with no one there, then going home and kicking some footballs and just trying to get into shape. And the mindset is got to go win a job. Got to go out there, be as close to perfect as possible, and really just run away with this thing. And luckily got an opportunity to do that and didn't look back.
Should we reset, like, perhaps we should reset at least your story a little bit for people.
Okay.
That you really never played football before a couple years ago.
Right. Went to the USFL.
You were a
After
soccer
playing-
star
Yeah,
though,
in
high
college.
school
Going way
star.
Okay, so to start it out, in high school, played soccer, local club team in Dallas for the Dallas Texans. Got recruited to go to Notre Dame to play soccer. Played all 4 years there. Did well enough to get drafted first round to Toronto FC in the MLS. Didn't do so hot there. Ended up after a year getting released from my contract.
After 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that common?
It's very common. It's, like the NFL, you're competing for a job, and if you don't perform, they move on quick. And unlike the NFL, you're competing with, I guess now kind of like the NFL, you're competing with guys all over the world. So you got
And they're not doling out 4-year guaranteed deals for a
No.
first round pick. Yeah.
no. They're giving semi-guaranteed, which is a little funky, but basically if you make it to June, which is halfway point of the season, or maybe it's July, then your contract becomes fully guaranteed at that point. So they have that.
Did you make it that?
I did my first year, yeah.
Okay.
They gave me at least that first year. And then washed out of there and ended up landing in the USFL, which similar to the UFL is like a tier 2 soccer league in America.
Now, is landing in the USFL?
USFL, yeah.
USL.
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 Yeah, too many ULs.
Yeah,
Right,
there's a
right,
lot of
right.
U's.
Yeah.
United Soccer League.
Is the legendary story true that Jen is the reason that you actually reached out and started looking into football?
Absolutely. After soccer, retired and went to just a normal world. I mentioned it earlier, software engineer for about
Got a stand-up desk.
Yep, stand-up desk. I was lucky. Actually, COVID sent me home, and I got to work from home, which was a fantastic experience. But prior to that, I didn't really enjoy it, and I was like, I'm still young. I can go play sports. You got to figure it out. Obviously, there wasn't enough money in soccer, and I kind of burnt out from soccer at the lower levels. So we were just sitting there watching football like we do every Sunday, just like a true American. And then,
Of course.
eventually, Jen realized I wasn't too happy in the current lifestyle, so she pointed out after watching a kicker, hey, I think you could do that. And she likes to point out that the kicker did not miss the kick. I know that's been
Oh, in the legend of
yes.
of Brandon Aubrey, it's she saw somebody shank a kick and then said, "Hey, you could have done that."
Yeah, so very close to the accurate truth, but not quite there.
Okay. But I'm sure he didn't nail it, because you'll get him right down the middle, man.
Well, I try, yeah.
Isn't that incredible how he does that?
That's the joy of aiming at a light post the first 2 years of training.
Okay, that's how you did it, huh?
Yep. Just went out to a little field in Frisco. They didn't have uprights because lacrosse was taken over. And they got
Had
rid
you
of
ever kicked a
uprights.
field goal before?
Had you ever kicked a football before?
Yeah.
Before that moment, no. Well,
Like while you're
middle
sitting on the
school.
couch with Jen.
middle school, no. But I mean, it's very similar to kicking a soccer ball. It's like hitting a long ball or a goal kick, something like that. If you've played soccer, you'd know the motion. So the hard part is obviously mentally, staying sharp and focused, and then finding your form to do the same repetitive task the same exact way over and over again. As a soccer player, you're not really, unless you're taking penalties or free kicks, and even then you're not really hammering out your form to where you're hitting it the exact same way every time, because every really strike of the ball requires something different. Here, you're doing the same thing every time, so it might be a little bit boring at first, hammering out your process and your steps, but that's what it takes, and that's really all there is to it.
Is it boring now?
It's boring now. No, I love kicking, and I don't have to do as much of the drill work I did starting up. So when I was starting up, put with just some really neon fluorescent tape in the garage, put down a path for my steps, each step, all three of them back, and then marked it down, and then my two over, marked it down, and then where my first step, my jab step, lunge step, and then the drive step, all three of those steps were all marked, and then it's super important. I put a little box where my plant foot is supposed to go, and then a little triangle out in the area I wanted to finish after the swing. And I just walked those steps 100 times a day and made sure each step was in the right spot every time. So that's what I'm referencing boring. That was the boring part.
Did somebody come up with that plan for you, or did you figure out the physics and the logistics of it yourself?
So that took a lot of work with a one-on-one kicking coach in the Dallas area, Brian Eakin. He spent a lot of time with me when I was first starting. And he recognized quickly that I had talent. I had the ability to strike a ball, which he says you can't teach. But if I wanted to be serious about this, that I'd have to spend a lot of time drilling on my own. It's no point in paying him to sit there and watch me take those steps. So I'm going to have some accountability and go out there and do it on my own every day. So he walked me through what it would look like, and then obviously didn't find my steps right away. So we went there with film. He'd film me at the field until we got something that looked natural and looked comfortable and repeatable. And when we found that, then we marked it on the field, and then I kind of took that blueprint into my garage and just practiced over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm going through something pretty similar right now. I'm learning to throw a baseball.
Yeah, that's tough too.
Yeah, never really knew how to do it as a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, they film me, they mark off motion.
Did you have video we wanted to play later of Jake throwing a baseball?
Yeah, I think we found some video of Jake throwing.
Let's see.
It's not me.
Let's see. Get it fired up.
Okay, while you
You're
look
sure
for that, I guess. How good did the first one feel? Like on the field?
On the field?
Were you
I
like,
missed it, so not great.
Was it preseason?
Oh, in preseason?
Oh, you're saying now once you played?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and so my first kick live was kickoff for the Stallions in the USFL. It was actually the opening kickoff for the whole league. And for me, it's the opening kickoff of my career. So every time I go out in practice, you look across the field, there's no one there. And it's like, okay, doesn't really matter.
And now there's 21 other Warriors out here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
21 Warriors and one guy who kicks a ball.
Yeah.
So I just looking out there.
I didn't mean to say that.
It was just a crazy experience. Took it all in and like, okay, now it's time to focus and go through those steps you've practiced a million times. But it felt great getting that kickoff off. Didn't go nearly as far as I hoped it would, but it was in play, so we're good there. Didn't have to make the tackle.
No penalty.
Yeah.
And did you ever tackle?
Did you practice tackling before that first kick?
No, and there's actually a YouTube clip. I don't know if you can play YouTube clips of my first tackle. It should be like USFL kickers can't kick, but they can hit.
Yep.
Something like that.
That's what it's called.
That's my first tackle, so you can see I clearly didn't practice because I should have been thrown out of the game. It was terrible.
Head down. Yeah.
Head down, spear right into the top of the guy's head. So
Yeah.
I should have been ejected, but got interviewed on the sideline after, which is kind of crazy.
Either ejected or
Celebrated.
well, no, or you get paralyzed or something,
Exactly.
right? You
Yeah,
can't
I got
back
very
like
lucky that day. So.
All right, let's see if we can watch that video.
Throwing a lot at him.
He can handle it.
Yeah, this is it.
Where is he?
I think
there
you
you
can
are
find
back
where
there.
he is pretty
You're getting
easily.
scared.
Oh, wow.
You
Dude,
didn't fall or anything,
You kept your
though.
feet, though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, soccer players aren't soft. If anyone tells you that, that's not true.
Okay, that's what we always think.
I don't have a helmet on. I'm going up for headers like that. I've made contact with other people's heads many times.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the overacting?
No, that wasn't my game
Okay.
style. So no.
Here's
The flop.
Watch it again. Bing.
Oh, my goodness.
You stand over him. Yeah, what's up, bro? How many of those did you have to make?
I made 3 tackles that year and then 2 the second season. So,
But he's not counting.
Yeah.
NFL?
NFL 0. Luckily, Bones just says booted out the back last year, so not a lot of tackles. I think there was 99 touchbacks and like 7 or 8 returns.
Now
went
that
out of bounds.
may be about to change.
Yeah, definitely changing.
Are you worried about it?
No, not my job to make the tackle. If it is, if they get through those guys, I'll do my best. Hopefully better than that. But I'm not terribly worried about it. My main job is to just place the ball where it's supposed to go and give our guys the best chance to make the play. So they do that job, then we're good.
I saw Kansas City was saying they might have Bucker not kick off.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going to use their punter instead. Is that a possibility here?
No, I think they're using a safety. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forget his name. Do you remember?
Is it Justin Reed?
Yeah, Justin Reed.
Because he kicked some PATs when Bucker was hurt.
Yeah, so I think their plan is to use him if it works out. See how accurate it is.
For the tackling and
yeah. You can't cross, the kicker can't cross the line, the 50-yard line until the ball is caught or hits the ground. They're trying to prevent teams from doing that, but
you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd love to run up there with you guys.
But, there's a rule.
I mean, they said I have to stay back here.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it is wild. So have you had to change your steps? Have you had to change the prep?
Yeah, so it's obviously requires a lot less power on the ball. So instead of putting out the back of the end zone, now their goal is to get it somewhere between the 20 and goal line. More of that will be determined in training camp when we go through our practices and see what exactly Bones wants, but that's like anywhere from 40 to 10 less yards on the ball. So a lot less bringing to the table, which should, in theory, keep me healthy longer.
Have you practiced it a lot?
We can play this video if we want to like do the breakdown. I think Rob was just calling for it.
What's that?
I think it's the video that like NFL media put out initially, just sort of explaining it.
Because like the XFL did this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the XFL did it.
Okay.
So here's a mock-up of
Everybody stands. So everybody is can't move until the runner catches the ball
Or hits the ground.
or it hits the ball. Okay,
That's the difference between us and the XFL.
And so the coverage teams and the receiving teams are 5 yards away from one another, and the only people that are removed from that area are the returner and the kicker.
So the returner's back around the goal line ish.
Yeah, and the
There's a
kicker's
little-
at
The
the
kicker's at the 30.
There's a few more nuances. Like, they're not all going to be in a line like that. There's going to be 5 players in the setup zone for the return team, which is the 30 to the 25, we'll say, and then the rest of them have to be in another zone just beyond that, and then they can have 2 returners back. But if there's a second returner, the guy who's not fielding the ball can't double team block. And then there's a couple other nuances, but
Man, Bones must love this because
Yeah.
he loves just.
he's part of the committee that put
yeah.
these rules together. So he's so pumped for it. It's gonna be the Wild West. It'll be a lot of fun watching this.
Was that committee big or was it
I have no idea.
itty bitty? Sorry. It was just laying there. The great Brandon Aubrey is with us. I'll reset because we're doing a live show. Right. What's that? Jake throwing, if you want that. Oh, Jake throwing. All right, since we're doing some video fun, let's.
clearly not.
Oh, look at that. Jake is
no.
warming up.
Clearly not.
So Jake thinks he's going to be able to hit.
39.
That's Michael Rubin.
Jake feels like he's going to be able to hit 70 on a gun.
Where are you at right now?
We haven't clocked it.
Okay. He's tall. I mean, 70 is not out of the realm of possibility.
He's never really known how to throw, right? That's like you're actually taking lessons to throw a ball.
Did he do other athletic activities?
I played football and basketball my whole life, and I played baseball for a few years. It was just that, like, are you familiar with like Sean Marion, the Maverick player, the Suns
Yes.
player,
Yeah.
who just had like a funky shot, but it kind of worked for
Yeah.
him? That's kind of what I always had.
Okay.
It was just like a weird T-Rex like throw.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, that motion you showed, I was like, I don't know if he's hitting 70 there.
Okay, but I was showing the old one. I was showing the old one. And so I started going to like an actual baseball training facility because I want to be able to teach my son properly. I don't want him to watch me and think that that's the way to do it. And I don't think that power is going to be the problem.
Have you ever thought of sending your son to the training facility?
Well, he's 2.
Never too early.
Yeah.
Our long
suppose.
snapper is teaching his son how to golf, and he's only like 1.5.
Really?
Yeah, he's in the simulator like every day.
Jeez,
Wow.
man.
He probably will need professional training at one point, but I just don't want to be showing him what I grew up with.
Fair enough. And
You want to get better as a parent. Isn't that the goal?
yeah,
Like
and,
be a little bit better than what you were taught. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I really don't think power is going to be the problem. I think accuracy is going to be the issue.
Gotcha.
But I think if I like rear back and wing it, 70 is definitely in play.
I feel like that's not that big of a number to.
You're
ask.
a pro athlete.
I just like getting all this on tape,
Yeah.
just so that when we actually do see Jake throwing, actually here's the video of that throwing again, and that's no.
That guy's a billionaire, though.
What's that? The guy who's throwing? I don't know who that is.
Michael Rubin.
I've heard the
Are you
name.
familiar?
No.
I think he owns Fanatics.
Did you throw the big party with?
Yeah, the white part.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that Dez goes to, and I think Mike has been to.
You ever met Dez?
Brandon Aubrey,
I've not met Dez.
been to.
I have a Dez jersey. He was my favorite player growing up.
Same here.
Love to meet Dez.
That's interesting because you seem like I've always understood why it's Jake's favorite player.
Because I'm crazy.
Because you guys are both emotional. You have highs, you have lows. Where when I talk to you on the air, off the air, and just with your job, it feels like you're a down the middle. I don't get too crazy. I don't get too like. I'm sure when she told you she was pregnant, you were like, "Oh, that's great." You've always looked forward.
Whereas I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, oh my god.
Fairly accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a
So
little more excited than that, but I don't show too much emotion.
Are you and Brandon and Brian Anger like considered real parts of the team?
Some days.
Is it weird?
Fourth
Like
down.
you just hang out together, right?
Yeah.
Is there even a backup kicker coming to camp this year?
No, not that I'm aware of. Hopefully not.
Okay.
That would suck if you showed up at day one and found that out.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be brutal.
I mean, how many kickers were in camp last year? When we say going back a year, so this time last year, we're above my garage, and you got your like you had signed with the Cowboys, but there was certainly no guarantee. What was like the contract, in fact, that they signed to initially?
It's 3 years, just your standard, no bonuses, base minimum all the way through. So they got me for cheap. I tried negotiating, but when you haven't played at college at all, they're not going to give you much.
We tried that too.
Yeah.
But you were like the best
Didn't work.
kicker in the UFL, right?
USFL at the time.
Oh, okay.
Sign's not helping, but
Okay, yeah.
yeah, they
But still.
didn't really care.
Yeah.
You're still
yeah, that's
no
cute.
experience.
Cool. Yeah.
See if you can do it here.
Okay, but so that 3-year deal, there was none of it was guaranteed, though. They could cut you during training camp. Do you actually get paid something during training camp, or would you have been paid nothing?
It was nice. Got paid, I think, what was it, like $1,500 a week at training camp. So that was fantastic. And
Okay.
doubles this year as a veteran. So that's awesome.
3 hots and a cot.
Yeah, sure.
It's
I just want to throw out that
2
term.
days in a row.
Yeah. We're trying to work that into our show now.
And
I feel like
we-
the kicker-punter relationship is almost like baseball players, where they just have to spend so much time doing the same thing over and over and over together. So I've always wondered, do you guys have inside jokes? Do you have bits? Like, what is – because it's pretty much just the two of you and maybe Bones.
Well, we have the long snapper too, who adds a lot for us. But we have some bits, mostly kind of like every Friday.
Like, do you bet each other?
So that's what I was getting to. Every Thursday we have a competition Thursday, which is more or less a bet. It's loser has to buy the winner $20 worth of scratchers. That's about all it is. Random competition, sometimes like throw the ball at the crossbar so you can hit it, roll the ball and see who gets closest to like the star in the middle of the field. And that's what we're doing whenever other people are practicing.
Are you the backup punter?
I am the backup punter.
Okay. How do you do at that? How often do you practice that?
So before we go out and hit our field goals, I'll hit like 2 or 3 punts and that's about it.
You're like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Good to go
We
here.
just hope it doesn't happen.
Who's the backup kicker?
Banger.
Who?
The
Brian
punter.
Anger.
Brian
Oh,
Anger.
Anger. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Banger.
Banger.
Yep.
Yeah,
Banger.
that's his name.
Yep.
What's your nickname?
Butter.
Aubrey?
Well, that's my Instagram handle. So Bob's was back in college, but it's Butter now, thanks to Dak.
Okay, Dak. If Dak calls you something.
Explain.
Smooth as butter. He said it
Smooth.
after
Oh,
the
okay.
Chargers game. And
Okay.
just kept calling me that afterwards, and kind of stuck with a bunch of the staff and a few of the players there.
How does the wife feel about butter?
I like it. And they refer to our baby as baby butter.
Okay.
Okay, so it's out of your hands now. Do you have a name for this baby?
Yes, we do.
Colton.
Okay.
Makes me
Colton.
tell everyone.
Okay, she makes you do that.
That's solid.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who will make fun of people's kids' names.
Oh,
Oh,
So,
glad you
I'm
did.
glad you approve.
yeah. Yeah. Unless it's
we can do now, if you want.
COLTYN.
No.
Nope. It's solid, strong O.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like
yeah. Yeah, let's take a look at that list. We have a list of some Today in Twitter action. Are you big on the soch?
No, I repost a few things here and there on Instagram when I get tagged, but I have Twitter, but I forgot my login a while ago, and no Facebook. We've tried to delete our Facebook actually like 15 times. It keeps coming back.
It's very difficult.
Like, yeah,
Literally, every
I-
week his reappears. I deactivate it every week and it comes back.
I
What's
went through
that
that.
all about?
I went through that.
Figure it out.
Eventually, yeah, but it took a couple years. When I first started dating my current wife, I put that I was in a relationship, and I was working with him, and he made fun of me for like
Well, you know.
2 or 3 straight months, and I was like, I have to get rid of this. So it took a couple years, but yeah. And I do want to tell you, based on if they're looking for the video, reports yesterday on trash trucks. I'm apparently not alone at all.
No.
So I just want you guys to know,
I got a lot of feedback.
just start it early. Your kid is going to love to watch videos of trash trucks. And they have hours of compilations on YouTube.
You never know, though. By the time
They may have
Colton
something
is
cool.
2, they just kids might be into something different. Because my kids were not into trash trucks.
I know, but I feel like the trash truck is timeless.
You're gonna have to elaborate. Like, what about the trash truck?
Okay, it's literally it's literally just a truck picking up trash.
What was the site Danny mentioned?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I want to hear what. Okay.
I can find it real quick here.
All right.
Nash and Trash, something like that.
Anyway, it's weird.
Thrash and Trash production.
So we're on YouTube, obviously.
And they just
We're trying to figure out, how do we get our subscriptions up? How do we get our views up? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. This guy has like 20 million views on a garbage truck just riding along, putting trash in it.
yeah.
Not just one.
For an hour.
So what did you take?
Like
from
150 of them.
I just sat there and watched it with my son, and here it is, right here, Brandon.
Check it out.
Every about 15 seconds, they cut to a different trash truck picking up trash, and my son just sits there, and every single time that a new one shows up, he just goes, trash truck,
Ah, look at
Trash
that one.
truck.
Oh,
trash truck,
Side loader.
trash
I
truck,
got some music for this.
trash truck. And this is the bed they play.
This is incredible.
It's an aggressive metal production. Yeah.
And it's an hour video, which has 20 million views.
Yeah.
So what's the lesson here? Like, what did you learn from their video?
We have to stop doing what we're doing. I think.
We need to somehow be even dumber. I never thought that would be a problem for us.
This is their song?
Yeah.
Isn't it fun to talk to somebody who's about to have a kid?
Like, do you feel wise? Like they don't know what they're in
I sort
for?
of feel wise, but I also feel like if you talk to somebody who's never seen The Wire or The Sopranos, you're like, man, I wish I could do that part again.
Yeah. That's why I said I need that new young wife so I could have the new kids. I'll do it right. I'll do all the things correctly.
Oh no.
My, my half brother or whatever, my dad's son is. He got it all right. He never got hit with the belt or whatever I got. Like Dad's like, I think that was a mistake on him, because look how he turned out. Let's make this one good.
Uncomfortable laughter.
Yeah. Ladies never like that bit. It's not a bit. Jen, though, we should reset who she is. You met her at Notre Dame, and
Yep.
she was a lacrosse star.
Goalkeeper. Yeah.
Goalkeeper.
Dang.
We actually met before Notre Dame.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah. The
How so?
actual story. Getting it right this time.
He forgets.
Her parents her mom dragged her to a Notre Dame Dallas club sending away party in the Dallas area, and my mom dragged me to it. Neither of us wanted to be there, but when we got there, we ended up meeting each other and kind of like inseparable since then.
Okay. What a story.
That is an awe.
That is an awe. And you had a double major
Yes, sir.
in
Finance and Mandarin Chinese.
Mandarin Chinese. So you can roll some Chinese right now?
I'm a little rusty. It's been a few years.
Okay, yeah. It's tough to keep it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, where do you
Especially
run
here.
into somebody who speaks?
Well, I used to be a flight instructor, and I instructed at a school with all Chinese students. You're not allowed to speak Chinese with them in the airplane, but I would go to lunch with them or whatever before or after lessons and speak with them.
You're not allowed.
Yeah.
Why is that?
The universal language of aviation is English. So it is required by the FAA that you teach in English.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The universal language of aviation.
I just want to say something
Who
real
knew?
quick, okay? From the same makers of, we've been going to so many people's houses who are so much smarter, so much more successful, and so much better and intelligent than we are. How are we sitting here talking to someone who taught Chinese people in English how to fly planes?
It was fun.
And also, this guy's in the NFL.
Yeah, he's an All-Pro.
We got to have something better than you guys. We're going to think of what it is before you get out of here.
Trash truck's taken.
The studio.
All right, let's evaluate these names. Do you have that list? What is this, Blake?
This is from the Utah Rodeo, and I believe these are the kids that competed.
Oh my gosh.
And this list started making rounds because this is what people are naming their kids these days.
Which one's the
Tucking.
first and which one's the last?
Yeah, I believe their last
Last
name
call the
first.
first,
Right?
Yeah. So we got McCoy.
What were your finalists? You certainly had a top 2 or 3, right?
Oh, for names?
Yeah.
So the second choice, we only really came down to
that
2.
Up there?
Was Trenton Brian Aubrey, which is snap, hold, kick. Snapper,
Trent,
punter,
Brian,
kicker.
Whoa.
Aubrey.
Okay.
Yeah. We just thought it was
I do
a cool
like
name.
that.
I said it as a joke, and Jen actually liked it, and I got scared for a little bit.
Did you like reach out and did either of you veto anything?
Oh, yeah. We went through lists like this all the time, like probably like thousands of names, and we came down with 2.
Okay, because my wife wanted Kylie really bad. However, back in that era, I had interviewed a porn star named Kylie Ireland on the air when I worked in Youngstown. And it was the only porn star I had ever met. And then every time I just couldn't do it. Like that's what it reminded me of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to go no Kylie.
It's a great use of the veto.
Yeah, it's the only, and she really appreciated that I did veto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favorite's number 5, Tuckin.
Oh my gosh.
The bit is you need to just change the spelling of something that's kind of normal.
You need a Y. Or a
I don't
Z.
know. I mean, that used to be the bit, but I mean,
Ryler.
Bronk is not a normal name. Draxton is not a normal name.
See Hayes?
Ryler Hayes is not. I mean, I could guess I could maybe see Hayes for a girl or
Maybe
Hazel,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Who knew Lars was still around? Ray Gun.
Ray Gun. And also, his last name is Steele. Ray Gun Steele. Like,
Okay, kind of cool.
Never heard so much malarkey in my
you
whole
pretty
life.
much have to have Charles Bronson play that guy in a movie.
I feel like Cash Sweat is a pretty sweet name, too.
That is a pretty. They're all pretty sweet. They're just
Crazy.
very extra. Hayes Hunt
Tibbs,
Yeah.
Tibbs Thomas is going to have a country album in 10 years.
or a 102-mile-an-hour fastball.
Either one, yeah.
Do you guys believe that a name can actually shape the way you are?
Never really thought about that.
Like, if you name someone a certain name, you know.
Like my parents named me Jake, and I was just destined to be like a massive douchebag.
Yeah.
There's really nothing I could do about it. I was like, this is my name. Like, I'm just going to be a white douchebag. Okay.
When you put it that way, you turned out pretty well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So, what are your vices?
My vices?
Yeah.
Ice cream and video games.
What are we
Okay.
playing?
Heck yeah.
Right now, I'm playing EAFC 24. Just got back into soccer, watching the Euros and Copa America. So I figured, why not play the video games too?
What was the story about that?
Looks like Silky
recently?
loves it. What do you mean?
Wasn't there like a stampede or somebody broke into a stadium or?
There's been,
You guys
been
know what I'm talking about?
There's been a lot of
Yeah.
fights at Copa America.
Yeah.
At the final, Argentina versus Colombia in Miami, a bunch of fans, I don't know how many exactly, basically without tickets stormed the gate and broke down pretty much the door and the escalator. And when cops and security tried to pull them out of the stadium, they started like crawling around vents and just got into the seats, and ticket holders that actually had real tickets weren't able to get in because they're at capacity. So they ended up delaying the game like a full game's length to get it right.
Dang.
Soccer fans are nuts, man.
Oh yeah. Well, Shakira was performing at halftime.
Well, then there is a reason then.
The combo.
a regular reason for that. I was thinking of the Vice thing. Like, I didn't know. You chew?
No.
Drink?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit.
The true thing is
Drink before
interesting
noon?
because of I really enjoyed the video from camp last year where Young Wei Koo was offered a Zen
I don't think I've seen this one.
by a fan.
Oh, really?
Like while he was doing autographs at camp, and he just popped one in and went back out there to kick.
Just because Chew's a big player in, I guess, all sports, right? But football for sure.
Especially the ones who like don't, no offense, have to like run a lot.
Well, I'm
Unless they
surprised, like, when you
chilled out.
see
It's-
the lineman with a big chew in.
Yeah.
So weird to me.
We had a player in the USFL who would have 2 or 3 in on offense, the offensive lineman.
See, I thought of this last night because my wife's out of town, my wife and kids. So they went out of town. It's great.
He keeps telling me this just to make me jealous. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
fourth time that he's told me this.
He wants you to come over.
Again, yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
leave the door open. And I was trying to, because these guys are like, well, why is it so great? And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just like, because you can do anything you want. And that doesn't mean I'm doing anything, though. Like, I'm getting to bed early. I'm watching what I want. I'm going to the place that I want to eat.
It's quiet.
No one's at, it's quiet.
House is
Like,
clean.
If I don't want to finish this show, I won't. If I do, I cleaned the house when they first left, so that now I live in a clean house. And then I was thinking last night as I'm washing my couple of dishes, because now all I have is 3 dishes, and but I had my my can of chew just lying there, and I had pouches. I don't want not going too crazy, and the dip cup, and I was like, wait, I was about to pick it up to put it away. Well, then why? So it's still there waiting for me tonight.
Yeah.
When I need to fire one in, and because
Like an
I
old
can.
friend.
Yeah. Like the house is mine.
Oh yeah, for sure, baby. Yeah.
I would say I left the lid up or the seat up on the toilet, except you guys know I sit down.
You sit down to pee?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, future you.
Jer says yes.
Future you are going to remember
How
this
are we
day, and you're going to be
50-50 right
sitting
here?
there, and you're going to be, although you do stand-up desk, so maybe you're just a guy who stands up for everything.
It's an extra step to sit down.
Soki says no.
Yeah, but then you could read, you can relax.
How
Make
big
sure
is your
that everything
bladder?
goes well. Like, you're not getting anything on the
Yeah, it
the
won't go all over
tile,
the place.
You know?
It's really like I
Also, yeah, he's right. I think a big part of it is once you have a kid, you're like, I mean, I really only have to do the number one. What if I sit down in here
I could take 5 minutes.
and I could take 5 minutes?
Yeah.
My dad definitely did that trick. He disappeared to the toilet all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he just
sometimes
wanted
that's
a
your
he
only
just wanted a
place.
moment. Yeah.
Because that's the only place you can actually say you can't go in there while he's in there.
Yeah. Very early on, Nora learned the word privacy because she would open the door, be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Privacy. It's gonna be privacy."
Are you guys stoked on the Olympics? Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah.
That didn't go anywhere.
Did you do anything big this off season? Like any travel?
We took a baby moon to
Manhattan Beach.
Manhattan Beach.
A what?
Baby moon?
I did that.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a trip before the baby kind of makes you.
Oh, a honeymoon type.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
one last trip. We went to Grand Cayman.
Nice.
And the coolest part about it was your wife can't drink,
So she has to be.
but you kind of can a little bit at least.
Now, do you do the solidarity thing?
No.
You guys, okay. Good.
I tried it for
Zero.
about a week. It didn't
Okay.
work.
I mean, why not? It's not like she's out there doing steps, 3 steps,
Right.
and then swinging the
Why
leg.
don't you come out
every-
here and kick one from 50?
Yeah.
She has made one from 19.
That's
Okay, so you
honestly
do.
probably
Old-
more than I could do right now.
Old PAT.
It's pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a former college athlete, though.
Still hard.
So we're going out to we are going out to Cowboys training camp, and we thought maybe we would be able to hook up with you, talk to you out there, maybe do a bit. We've done bits on the field in the past with
Yeah.
like who was throwing us passes.
Stephen McGee.
Stephen McGee.
Stephen McGee would throw us passes.
And then the
I
kicking
fell
bit-
down and did not catch one.
I think you were shirtless.
He was.
I was probably shirtless.
Yep.
We did punt returns. I think it was a year that we saw Dez. Speaking of Dez.
Yeah.
It was not Dez.
No. This one year, Dez would stand at the 50 and have the punter punt me a ball, and he'd catch it. And he'd hold it, and then he wanted to see how many he could catch. And he caught like...
That's
It was Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
It was?
Yeah.
I swear. Oh.
And then Wade tried to do it.
Yeah.
Wade tried to catch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on Hard Knocks.
Wade Phillips?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pac-Man caught like 7 punts at once.
Okay, it was pretty amazing.
It was pretty amazing.
And I think we just tried to catch one.
And Wade's just
And
like,
again,
he caught one and then
failed.
caught a second
No.
one. And then
have you ever caught a punt?
caught a
Yeah,
third one.
it's part of my job now. Well, not really part, but I enjoy catching punts. So when my punter's warming up, I go out there and try and catch as many as possible. I can catch like 4 or 5.
And do you punt back to him
No.
to practice? Oh,
No, I catch them and just put them in a nice pile for him. Turn around, and then I jog over to the other side, catch them again, put them in
Okay.
a nice pile.
and he doesn't do anything for you.
He holds.
Oh, that's right.
He makes my job really easy because he's very good at holding. It's pretty much the same exact look every time.
Is there a fake in the books?
I can't tell you.
That means yes.
It's bones.
Yeah.
So.
There's 18 fakes in the book.
I was gonna say, there's an entire separate section.
All right, here's a fake when we're at our own 7-yard line.
Yeah.
Like he's like, yeah, well, why not?
See, look at Wade. It's tough for the audio
Okay,
version, but
so
how
that is
excited
Pac-Man.
Wade is about, like, Pac-Man's catching punts. He's got caught another one. Boy, shorts have certainly changed.
Yeah, they really have.
What do you mean?
You see how big and bulky they were?
Yeah, I mean, those guys look like white chocolate.
What was this, 07?
Yeah, like you've just got the calf length short on.
Is the football locker room a lot different like than the soccer locker room?
Yeah, it's way different. The football locker room, most guys pretty
Are
much
black?
all the yes, but went through college.
Went through college.
Yeah,
Okay.
so all the guys went through college. They have like a similar shared story, shared experience that we can all relate to. Versus soccer, you have guys coming over from Europe, guys coming up through the academy system. You got guys that went through college, guys that speak Italian, guys that speak Spanish. It's kind of a big melting pot, and sometimes it gets a little cliquey. But football, I feel like outside of your position groups, so you're friends with all your position groups. You're friends with then the defense or offense, us, like the special teams. But then like you interact well with everyone else too, which is nice. In soccer, sometimes there's just a little bit too much difference between players for that to happen.
That makes sense. I never thought of that.
Was there a time that you thought I feel more a part of the team? Like was it after making a big kick or something like that? Where
I joke I still don't really feel like part of the team because you guys mentioned earlier like special teams, we're kind of doing our own thing. So the three of us hang out all the time, and we are a little bit isolated. But yeah, I'd say I didn't really feel like I had made the team until about week 3, maybe week 2, the Jets game. Even like going into halfway point of the season, it's kind of got to make all my kicks just to make it here for next week. So you're working as a kicker for the next week because nothing's guaranteed, like you said. No money in my contract. No point in the year does it become guaranteed like it did in the MLS. So, I mean, if you get hurt or you just don't perform well for a couple weeks in a row, then who knows? They're looking at other options.
you still on that deal? Did they rip that up? Okay.
No. Why would they do that?
Oh, I guess because they're really cool. And
That's usually how it works.
yeah, no, I guess the point was, hey, we're taking a chance and bringing you to camp. You're going to sign this 3-year deal.
Yeah, and you'll sign whatever they put in front of you when you were in my situation. So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
And hopefully, you just keep it up, right? And
Absolutely, yeah. Go out there and keep doing it. Keep earning the next week.
like you've never really, even since your other stops before the NFL as a kicker, have you ever had a slump?
I mean, my first year wasn't really anything to write home about in the USFL. It was probably like 83, 84% on field goals, but they had a big issue with footballs that year. Like they put chips in it, and at 84%, I was all USFL for kicker because the balls, if you would kick them straight, the chip would be either on the left or the right. And if you didn't have it worked out with your ops, your snapper and holder, to put the chip on the same side every time, it would kind of tail left or tail right. And if you didn't know what side that was and you aimed down the middle, it'd be kind of tail right on you or left. So like I had the ball, so it would tail left because I have kind of a natural little bit to the right. So it'd fight it there, and then I'd aim like just right of the center line. So I ended up adapting to the ball, and they got rid of it about week 4, I think. But by that point, the kickers were like 1 for 7, 1 for 8. It was a rough start for kickers there. So I'd say that would be the learning curve more than a slump.
That's so fascinating. Like he's basically like a physicist.
Yeah, but even
Seriously.
a chip, I can't imagine a chip is that heavy.
Well, they put a PVC pipe around it. So like
Whoa.
the punters, how the punters punt like the panel versus we hit the kind of the seam.
I do not know that.
Okay, so
tell me.
kickers hit like the seam behind the laces, maybe a little bit right or a little bit left of it. But the punters hit the panel of the ball, and the PVC pipe was in one of the panels, and it was bruising some of the guys' feet starting off in the year. So not great for punters or kickers to start off the year, but they got it fixed pretty quick.
Okay. 4 weeks, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why that YouTube video of his tackle was called "USFL Kickers Can't Kick, but They Can Hit."
Because he'd already.
Because everybody was missing a lot. doing
Oh,
that
okay.
shit. Yeah, that's why it was titled that.
So
that's
what
insane.
was going through your head when you missed your first ever NFL kick? Because it was an extra point, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an extra point. I just wasn't mentally locked into the game at that point, and kind of rushed out there. So the backstory, I had the opening kickoff. The Giants are driving. They get to about the 20-yard line, our 20-yard line. They stall. They're sending out Graham Gano for a field goal, and it gets blocked. I'm sitting there just watching. I'm like, oh, this is going to be my first field goal to see on the field. I want to sit here and actually pay attention and watch and see what he does. So I have my just cup of water. My helmet's on the bench, and I'm watching. It gets blocked. We run it back for a touchdown, and I'm like, oh, that means I got to go out there. So I threw my water down, grabbed my helmet, and sprinted on the field and just kind of rushed through my process. Didn't really go through the process because in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, I only have 35 seconds. I spent 10 of them messing around getting on the field, so I got to rush. So I got rushed and got set, but then the referee reset the play clock like he's supposed to. I'm just sitting there waiting for all of the celebrations to end, everyone to get off the field. I'm just sitting there staring at the ball like ready to go. So I just wasn't ready. I had never seen that situation before, and instead of like sitting there and thinking, oh, that sucks, like I can't miss again, I'm going to lose my job, I just kind of, with Bones, who sat me down and be like, okay, you weren't ready for that. Let's talk through a process if that happens again, what it looks like and what you need to be doing, and don't put your helmet down on the sideline. So luckily we got a pick six that game, maybe like 3 drives later, in the same situation. I was ready to go, and we put it through. So learning situation, just wanted to sit there and process what went wrong and how to fix it, as opposed to like focusing on what happens if I miss another one or whatever.
So it wasn't like you were thinking in that 30 seconds while you're waiting for the celebrate. Like, you weren't like, this is my first ever kick.
No.
NFL. Okay.
It's just there's a rhythm to kicking field goals. Running out to the field, I have my process. Like I said, you have a full play clock, so we kind of know around like 5 to 10 seconds is when the ball's going to be snapped and when I'm going to kick. But on extra points, that timing can get a little funky. So for me, it's honestly a little bit harder getting the timing right on extra points, because you never know how intense people are going to celebrate, or if the referee's going to. So some refs will reset the play clock if the celebration is taking a little bit long. Some will just let it run, and if they're still on the field, you got to start your process. And
I would imagine, especially if it's like a sudden change type of touchdown, not like just a regular drive that included.
Because not only is it me, it's the punter, long snapper, the offensive line. They're not on the field, because when we score on offense, the offensive line's out there, but like you have the offensive line running on, you have our defense running off, and guys staying on the field really celebrating. So some refs will reset the play clock, some will just let it run. So if it goes down, you'll see a lot of delay of games, not a lot, but a few delay of games on extra points on sudden change, just because the kicker is like, I don't have time, so we're going to take it 5 yards back, which is maybe what I should have done in that first one. But
I'm sure they would have loved that.
Yeah, right?
Your first one in.
Yeah, first rep, take the delay of game. If you still miss it, they're like, what is this kid doing?
Have you ever had one where you had to, because you'll see occasionally in the NFL, the clock is running out, we spike the ball, but now there's 10, you run out there and they barely
Thunder,
kick.
The Mayday, those are very rare. There was 2 of them in the season of the whole NFL last year that I can remember. Both of them were the Broncos in the same game. And he made one and missed one, I believe. But yeah, I haven't had one, but we practice it every week. And that is just going out there being an athlete. You don't get a chance to take your steps. You just really look at the ball, feel like you're in the right spot, and then go.
How do you simulate game conditions in practice?
That is hard. You really can't. The closest I get is the live reps with the team in practice on Tuesday or on Wednesday, one of the days. But
it all runs together,
right? The whole team is there watching you, and you hit 6 or 7 field goals in a row, and that really simulates the pressure. But you can't really simulate the whole game like that. It's really tough, especially when you're on your own. You can put as much pressure on yourself to make every kick as you think you can, but it won't simulate a game rep. There's no replicating that.
Have we seen this out at training camp sometimes? Like all the players will get around and they're screaming at you and just trying to throw you off your game. Do they do that?
They do mojo moments out there, and
love a good mojo.
That's right.
And those.
So what's that?
It's just coach plays one of the game theme songs, and then everyone's supposed to run to the field he's at, and he just announces what the situation is and what we have to do. So like a lot of it'll be red zone, offense versus defense, ones versus ones, or mayday field goal, like the one you're talking about, where you just sprint on the field and kick one real quick with a running play clock, or like it's a 20 seconds, we have to go 40 yards and score a touchdown to win the game. So it's just like a moment where instead of being on two fields split apart doing your drills, everyone's there watching, the music's playing. Usually the fans are into it pretty good. So those are the high stress moments he's trying to create to replicate the games.
So unlike that first extra point miss where you were kind of caught off guard, if they are driving end of the half, end of the game, whatever, are you over on the sideline kicking into that net?
Yeah, absolutely. On offense, I'm catching snaps from Trent, the long snapper, when we're on our half of the field. He likes to get 3 punt snaps, and then after that, bangers punting into the net until we get to about 50-yard line. We get into field goal range. Then I'll start hitting into the net on third down or second down, depending on how fast or like what the situation is. If it's like we need to hurry, I'll hit on second down, one into the uprights, and be ready watching third down. And if it's kind of just like the beginning of the first quarter, beginning of the third quarter, no real tempo to it, I'll hit one after second down, right as the third down play call is looking like they're going to go. So I'll hit one then, and then watch the play and run out.
Was there a tough place to kick last year?
Yeah, San Fran, Philly, Washington, Buffalo were all pretty tough. Just the conditions of the field, the wind in those stadiums kind of whips through, which is why I like kicking here. We got a nice dome, eliminate that.
And Oxnard's tough too.
The Oxnard's tough. You don't really feel it on the field, but above the tree line, you get that ocean breeze that pushes in. It's a little trickier than you think, because even below the tree line, it's like a stadium. It makes it kind of like a bowl. The ball is traveling one way with the wind, and then above the tree line, it might be a different way. And there's no flags above the tree line to judge that. So you just got to go out there and practice and kind of hope you don't hit a gust or see what it looks like before you go out for period.
Or that you get fired.
Well, I imagine that's frustrating because that's your tryout. It's probably the toughest condition you've had to kick in.
And they're good about that. They know. And I had another kicker there to compare against, and I did better than him every day, just slightly better than him, and then started getting more and more better, and they released him. And at that time, I thought it was pretty early in training camps before the first preseason game, so I thought they might be bringing in a veteran to really secure the kicking position and really have a competition carry out through the whole training camp. But they brought me into the office after they released Tristan and said, we're going to go with you. We want you to have every opportunity to get opportunities in game. So we're going to bring you. You're going to be our only kicker for training camp. If you do well, it's your job. If not, and we're going to bring somebody else in. But you are the guy.
Was this Coach McCarthy or Jerry or Steven?
It was Bones.
Oh, Bones.
Yeah.
Okay. Interactions with Jerry, have they been fun?
Yeah. So the first time I talked to him was at Oxnard. It was going into our first mojo moment, which actually came before our first field goal period, because Bones was trying to give us some time to work with our operations and kind of get the snap, hold, kick all worked out before going into field goal period. But Mike wanted to have a mojo moment for kickers. It was like 50. It was long balls. So that came before the first field goal period, and Jerry, as we were walking out there for the mojo moment, stopped us both and said, hey, there's a lot of guys watching you. Don't fuck this up. But he was joking. He laughed it off after giving us a straight face for like 3 seconds, said, no, we brought you in here.
We have a picture of that moment.
Yeah.
It's really great. Jerry's like laughing, so hard, and Brandon's looking at him like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Awesome. You getting the new college football video game?
I might get it during training camp, see how slow things are out there.
You'll have some time.
You're not a college football fan, though. Didn't we determine you've only been to one Notre Dame game?
Yeah, I'm not a big college football fan. I like the pro game better, so I've always
it's the one
watched.
That pays.
It's been better.
Well, I guess they both do.
Yeah,
now,
both
but,
now.
Yeah.
But I've always liked pro sports better than college sports in general. I just felt like the best athletes and the best performances are in the pro game.
The farther the kick, the better you are.
Yeah.
Explain that. It's illogical.
I don't know. I just lock in a little bit more for those, I guess. But I think the only thing that is any different are the extra points. Everything else is, I got one blocked in close and then one hit the upright after like kind of the mental letdown of having that streak end. I kind of, we had the game in hand. It was kind of wrapped up in Washington, and I let myself kind of feel the moment of the streak ending too long, and hit the upright because I wasn't necessarily locked in. But I don't think I necessarily change anything when I go beyond like whatever long is in this statement. But for me, nothing in the form changes beyond like a certain point. And when I go out in pregame warmups, that's where I figure out what that point is. So don't really attempt field goals beyond that range unless it's like a game winner or end of half.
Well, I don't remember how the streak ended. I remember the streak. So you had the most consecutive field goals to start a career.
Yeah.
In history.
It was Washington week 18, last game of the year, or was it? Yeah, last game of the year, and it was just the first field goal of the game from like 36, right hash, and it was blocked up a gap. You got through.
Should that even count as missing a field goal?
I'm positive I came in that Monday and was like, that should not count.
But it does for the stats.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team. It's not a individual stat. I mean, it's a team stat. You have 11 guys going out there making the field goal because their job's harder than mine. They got to block 300 pounds. Some of them have to block 2 300-pound guys. So, I mean, they're doing the real work. I'm just kind of getting the glory for it.
Natural grass, turf?
That's a tough question for me. As a fan who likes healthy football players and a teammate of a lot of football players, grass. As a kicker, turf.
Because it's consistent.
It's consistent, and they don't beat it up in the games.
Back to
that Washington grass is awful, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, this is completely made up in my head, but I felt like as soon as
ruined RG3.
As soon as they're out of the playoffs, they're like, why bother?
Yeah. Not even take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back to like a year ago today, and you're in training, or you're not even in training camp, I guess, yet.
No.
When did you get signed? Like, did you do mini camps and all that?
July 3rd. I'd missed all of the off-season training activities and mini camps and all that. So
okay, so you were barely a Cowboy at this point.
Yeah. No, I showed up. My first interaction with the team was getting on the plane and didn't realize there was a back entrance to the plane. So I'm in the last row of the plane, and I walked on the front and walked past everyone with all my bags, just like trying to get through the aisles, and made a nuisance of myself. But I got there and I made it to camp.
So you sit in the back?
Oh, yeah.
Kickers and punters?
All the rookies. Bangers, and so Brian, he's been in the league for 13 years, so he gets first class. It's all by seniority. So I sit in the back because I was the last one on the plane, last to be signed.
So do you have a consistent row of people you sit by?
Yeah, it's the same. We travel all the practice squad, so I sit back there last year with the training staff, equipment staff, and practice squad.
Okay.
That's humbling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this year you don't know yet, but
I might move up 2 rows.
Yeah, okay.
There needs to be an all-pro
Don't get greedy, but maybe 2. Yeah.
What are we doing on the plane?
Usually watching a movie or taking a nap. On the way home, try my hardest to take a nap, but gosh, sometimes you just can't do it.
Yeah,
So
it's a little
flip on another movie.
little rowdy.
No,
That's got to be fun.
It's not rowdy at all, actually. Most people try and sleep,
Oh,
but
really?
it's just so late. We play all these night
Yeah,
games.
that's true.
And my body aches. It's like, it's hard to fall asleep on a plane.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a taller guy. Because it's just a normal 737?
Triple.
777. She's the plane girl.
Yeah, she would know.
Yeah.
She did that in English, by the way. To be clear about that.
A year ago, though, when you do go to training camp, what's your relationship like with this guy that I know this guy wants the same job I have, but I got to spend all day with him?
Yeah, it was good. We had a nice working relationship. Brian said he was pretty irritated with us being so friendly with each other. Like, kind of, if he made his kicks, give him a little handshake, say good job, that sort of thing. We were friends, talked off the field. So I really wish the best for him, and I think he's a great guy. But at the end of the day, only one of us are going to be there, and we both knew that. So why make it painful on each other? Like, why try and be an asshole to him? And I know you can barely affect a kicker's, or maybe it depends on the kicker. You can get in their head maybe and make them miss 1 or 2 more kicks, but then I'm thinking about that too.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just go out there and do my job.
And he was cool. He wasn't
Yeah,
doing
no,
any.
he's great.
Like, hey,
No,
dude,
no mind games.
better make this.
Anybody on the other team ever try to get in your head?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't really.
Doesn't bother you?
I don't hear him. There was the Lions game. I heard some lineman, I don't know if it's offense or defense, on the sideline just screaming. I don't remember what he said. Jen, Eagles. She says Eagles, but
Okay.
I don't know. You
sounds right.
can't hear anything
Okay.
out there like specifically.
I was telling you before. I guess we just veered off, but yeah. So we've done bits at camp before.
Mm-hmm.
That led to Des Bryant not catching punts. Somebody else did. But yeah, we were hoping maybe we could hook up, do some kind of a bit. I don't know what it would be. Maybe it's could we beat Jen's length in field goal kicking?
Please do that.
Do you feel like you could beat 19 yards?
I'm way more confident in being able to throw 70.
Okay. I mean, 19 yards doesn't sound like a lot.
It's not from the 1 yard line, so it's really not far, but it's still challenging.
Shortest possible NFL kick. It's really at that distance. Can you get the ball off the ground?
Okay. Well,
I'll
that's
put, like,
a question.
A cup on and let him kick me in the crotch or something.
Oh, you don't want that.
That would be a lot
Hey, I'm
more
for
palatable for me than actually attempting
Then
to make a
trying to
field
do
goal.
something
Athletic.
to look bad at.
Yeah. I'll try.
Are you guys going to be out there, Jen? You
I
and
won't be
Dad
there.
and Mom?
No, I won't be there because
Oh, wait.
baby.
Yeah,
He's kind of got a thing going on.
Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully Brandon makes it back for the birth. We'll see about that. But I think my parents are going to go out possibly for a day or two to Oxnard. So
Okay. And do you have to like inform Bones, like, hey, man, the due date? And
We talked about
might
it.
be leaving.
Yeah, we talked about it in length, actually, in last year's exit interview with both McCarthy and Bones, and they're on board with getting me back here after the Rams preseason game.
What's an exit interview like? Probably great for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice and easy this time. I've been through a few in the MLS and USL, not that one.
USL,
Yeah,
not
soccer
UFL.
league. The soccer leagues that weren't so great. They're like, well, you were okay, but these kids are way cheaper than you, and they do just as good as you, so we're gonna go with them. And those suck. They ask for your feedback on what they could do better, but after they just cut you, you're like, just leave me alone. But
Yeah. What's the point now? Yeah.
And with the Cowboys, to your point, it was good. It was just asking how the season went, how I adjusted. He with Coach McCarthy, he said you did really well.
Can you do it in McCarthy voice?
No, I'm terrible at accents and making other people's voices.
Okay. Just thought you might have one.
Yeah. Well, he just said you did well. We're happy with you. Obviously, keep doing what you're doing. We're not going to mess with anything. And he asked if there were any comments or feedback, and I didn't have anything for him. Just brought up pregnancy, and I'm going to need some time during training camp. And he was really cool with it. He's really a family-oriented guy. He's been awesome and
Time out the next one to be during the Super Bowl, and let's see how cool he is.
hopefully that doesn't happen.
Didn't somebody have to leave the Super Bowl once, or like right after it for a childbirth?
Yeah. Somebody like left on the field
Really?
right after the game. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
The Rams, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
2 or 3 years ago. Did he let you ride on his back?
Did I ride on his back?
Yeah, I've always wanted to ride on Mike McCarthy's back.
He's a big guy.
Oh, no.
He just seems like a guy who would give
I
like a
think-
really great like piggyback.
Yeah. Maybe if I make a game winner, I'll run and jump on it and see if he likes it or.
I think you should. I think you will like it. I think he'll love it.
We've always been amused by Jerry's love of how big McCarthy is. Like, oh, he's a big old boy. Like, in
Like,
his,
oh, his big
Yeah.
old
when they
self.
hired him in the press conference, all that kind of stuff. You never got that. You never got the opening press conference. We've signed Brandon Aubrey, and here he is to the media.
Like it like that.
Yeah.
He can do the the 1-day contract one day.
To retire a cow. Well, he might just retire a Cowboy anyway. Let's not have him with another team already.
The wife doesn't love that one.
Yeah, I mean, you're from here. I
just
mean,
saying
that's
players
got to be
move
really
around.
weird too. Just in your hometown to be
Absolutely.
kicking ass.
Yeah, no, it's crazy the way it worked out.
I saw what
'cause
you did.
The number of little things I had to align to end up in Dallas is just incredible. And
Did you have other teams that reached out when you're the
yeah. We had the Commanders for one, and as a Cowboys fan, that was would have been a little tough.
Non-starter?
Well, no, because they're paying you to play football, so
Okay.
you do that. Just Cowboys offered, so like I got to go to Dallas, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so that was basically it.
Yeah,
If it was any other
pretty much
team
it.
and the Cowboys, you're like,
Oh,
okay.
there were some workout opportunities, but I have to go out and work out with like 4 or 5 other kickers and earn the job from that point to then compete with another kicker in camp. So like the Cowboys opportunity and the Commanders opportunity were the 2 most realistic pathways into making a starting job.
You have an agent?
I do.
Okay. Like that seems like a pretty
Is
easy
she
job
sitting
for
right
him.
there?
No.
Seems like an easy job though. It's not like he got you any more than the minimum.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a tough job to start with where I was at, but yeah, he's great.
Just to get you
Mhm.
in the door.
He could have written in an All-Pro bonus. Something.
Yeah, for sure.
He does a lot of other stuff other than just the contract too. So
I mean, what are
he's a
the
busy man.
what is the likelihood I'm going to be an All-Pro in year 1?
But I just asked for it.
Throw it in there.
Worst
Yeah,
they
I
can
mean,
do
how
is say
about an
no.
$80 million bonus and if I am
Yeah.
the best kicker in the NFL? Now this off season too, you got the key
Oh, yeah.
to the city of Plano.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
That means I can open any door in the city of Plano. So.
I always thought it meant like any vending machine. You ever hear about having a skeleton key?
Like a
Like-
janitor?
As a kid,
Yeah.
you always that was like the big thing. Like,
For sure.
I'd love to have a skeleton key. I could open anything. I'd get a Snickers or a Coke. Doesn't matter. I had very low aspirations as a kid.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
That's
I
the only
love-
one you didn't get.
Yeah.
You got your workbench.
I got a workbench and I have a fireplace. Those are the things I wanted.
There's his key,
Yeah,
Okay.
do that.
Giant skull.
Mr. Plano.
Yeah, they named a day after me in the city of Plano.
So you get
When is that?
free sandwiches that day.
Like May something?
Yeah.
It was May something.
May 22nd maybe.
That's
Now is it every May 22nd or just that?
just the 2024th
Oh.
or 2024.
Did you guys like the eclipse?
Loved actually. Should I answer that seriously?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was really.
You know,
cool.
this idiot left town.
It was
Oh,
lame. I
Where'd you
didn't
go?
go?
He doesn't
Colorado.
know it was lame. You weren't here. It was awesome.
I saw pictures and videos.
We were here.
It's not
We did
the
a
same.
live stream,
Really
man. It
cool.
was
It's not
great.
the same.
Brandon, tell me what it was like when it was dark for 3 minutes.
It was
during the
incredible.
day.
He's
Was that
underselling
awesome?
it.
Was
It
that
was
awesome?
dark and slightly cooler.
What a dick.
Oh, it's cool. It was like November in April.
It was cooler.
What if
wasn't
it would have
amazing?
what if it would have happened
Like the
during a
temperature
kick?
went down like 10. Oh, yeah.
It was cool.
What was
It
the
happened
question?
during a kick.
What if it? Yeah,
It happened during a kick. Ooh,
you would have had to.
good thing we're inside.
You would have had to use like VR to prepare or something.
You are inside, but does that sun ever get in your eyes? And Scary world?
We do a good job of picking the side that it won't.
Okay.
But sometimes, yeah, it's usually fairly like close into the end zone by the time the second half rolls around. So no, I haven't had one where it really affected me.
Okay. And if you did, you're not allowed to say that because
I've not been instructed.
the
on
word
how to
is that,
answer that question.
Jerry won't put up curtains because it looks cool or something. I don't know. Right? Every year
Yeah.
there's always fans concerned about that.
I don't think this is going anywhere either.
Well, you use it as an advantage because we're used to it, right?
Yeah.
And
There you go. This
No,
guy knows what
I'm
he's
trying
doing.
to help you when the media starts grilling you after one of those games. The light ever does get in your eye.
oh, the sun was in rise. Sorry. Next one.
You can't say that. Brian Anger could hit that scoreboard every time if he wanted, right?
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
must be a weird scene.
Yeah. So a lot of the punters that are younger or haven't really been in a stadium like that come out in warm-ups and try and blast them straight up into the scoreboard. And I just think it's bad practice for them to get out of their habits of picking out their corners and really hitting like a nice average between hang time and distance. So like Banger doesn't try and do it, but he could do it whenever he wanted.
What's the farthest kick, like in practice? Not running, but with the regular steps that you've
For
ever
a field goal?
We call that a field goal.
Do I have wind at my back? What was the
Boy,
situation?
you're going to add all these caveats to my
Mhm.
what seemed to be a simple question. Let's say indoors.
Indoors.
The air conditioning is behind you.
Air conditioning's behind me. Is it a game or is it Just practice, because I get a little juice in
No,
game. I
not
could go a
in the
little
game.
further.
No. When you're
In
practicing.
practice,
Yeah.
probably like 70 yards.
70 yards.
What did you try against New England?
New England?
Was it like right before half, right?
Yeah.
They didn't.
No?
They sent me out for 66,
Okay.
but somebody jumped offside or false started. Someone false started, moved us back 5 yards, and then we didn't try it from 71.
You'd have liked to.
I don't think so. I mean, at
No.
that time, I had the streak going. I hadn't missed yet.
Oh, that's right.
right.
It's
How-
like a baseball player that doesn't want to play when he's hitting 400 or 300 or something.
What's the longest you have kicked with like a running start, like a kickoff start?
I don't even measure that. It's out the back or it's not out the back. So, I mean, I put a few through the uprights throughout the season. Usually, if we're AT&T, hit 1 or 2 a game through the uprights.
And how long is that? 75 yards?
75 yards
Yeah.
to the upright. And then probably goes 82, 83 yards if I had to guess.
Okay.
I don't want him to kick me in the balls anymore.
Yeah. Are you watching Hard Knocks?
Not yet. Saving it for training camp.
Okay, you're the off-season one with the Giants?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been just watching that.
I've seen a lot of clips about Saquon Barkley and whatnot.
That's really the main stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least I've only watched the first couple episodes. I think there's 3. And it is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I just started watching that receiver show.
What do you think of that?
I think it's awesome. I love the insight into people's preparation. Like, you get to see 5 of the best receivers in the league and what they do and how they maintain their game. So I love watching that stuff.
I've seen the clip of, is it Devontae Adams complaining
Yeah.
about his quarterback?
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
Garoppolo?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, damn, he can't get me the ball. You ever hear any of that on the sideline? Not with the Cowboys, of course.
No. The other sideline all the time.
Yeah, everybody's very happy. All right, man. Well, it's great having you in studio.
Yeah.
We
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me.
coming. I know you were going to hang out for the first half of the show, and I think we're about there. But we'll run into you again, hopefully at training camp.
Yeah,
and I guess
kick
if
some
we
balls.
don't,
We're
will be-
driving
You're driving?
in an RV.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like a brutal time, but
Yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
But it's what we got to do year one, you know? Sometimes you got to sit in the back with the practice squad players.
Yeah.
the Cowboys have a media plane. Maybe you guys can get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're letting us be there.
well, yeah.
And that's
We're
pretty
happy
much
with
what we're
that.
going to accept.
And if we don't see you, then I guess it's good because we got Colton
Yeah,
on the way, right?
absolutely. Hopefully he stays put where he's supposed to until the 12th.
My wife would complain. Well, she only complained when one person did this, and it was my mom. But my mom, just felt it was okay to put her hand on her belly,
Yeah, that's not good.
and my wife did not like that at all. Is that something that you've had happen to you?
Not really. I mean, I've had it happen once or twice, but for the most part, people are pretty good about asking first.
And then do they have the funny? So you weren't upset when I did it earlier when I first saw you. Does everybody have the funny quip that tell this is Brant, like they feel the kicking?
Oh yeah, they always say, he's a kicker, isn't he?
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, that's a
so
good
original.
one. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, man. Brandon.
Come
Whoa.
Ooh.
I was thinking of Banger.
I can get Brian on.
Brandon, Aubrey, thanks for joining us. Jen, thanks.
Of course.
The Blooms, thank you. And we'll do this again sometime soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
All right.
Don't want me.